Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and I am here to take a look at some historic low Black Friday Steam game deals. Now, this video is gonna be on some of the more expensive games. We've looked at deals under $10, under $5, so on and so forth. Look, some of these games, they hold up in price. You know, some of these publishers don't want to be putting their games on deep discounts, especially if they came out somewhat recently, but they're still very good games, so I want to give them a mention. Look, we got games on this list that go up as high as over $50, so, you know, most of them aren't that expensive, but just keep that in mind. And with these games, I always recommend, if you are going to buy any of these, make sure you plan on playing them in the near future, because guess what? These are the games that over time are just going to get cheaper and cheaper, you guys, and I'm guilty of this as well. We build up these crazy backlogs, we buy games for $40, $50, and then we don't play them for 3 years, and then they're in the bargain bin for like $4, and we didn't even touch them in that entire time period. So with that being said, let's get right into it. One of the best deals, I think, is Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. It continues to get cheaper and cheaper, and now it is 60% off for $24. By the way, the Reclamation update did just drop for the game. They have been doing a phenomenal job of rolling out free content update after free content update for this game. The new Reclamation operation adds a ton of new content, 6 hero weapon variants, 8 new armor pieces, new battlefield conditions, full modular customization for Chaos Champions, and you do have new DLC that is rolling out as well. You don't gotta get that. They do have a 2-year anniversary edition for $79, but all of the DLC is cosmetic, nothing that you need. I would get the base game. $24 on that is great, and this game was awesome. I thought it really took me back to the days of shooters that I loved and action games that I love, like that Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 era of games. Obviously, technically much more impressive, but just a fantastic game for $24. Great deal on that. Next up, we have Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, 30% off for $49. I really like this game. I was honestly a little bit blown away by how much I liked this game, given that, you know, I liked Wolfenstein from Machine Games, and that's the development studio behind the Indiana Jones, but it's not like Wolfenstein was one of my favorite games of all time. It was just a good, solid game. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is an incredibly well-made game, and it's got quite a bit of content to it as well, if you're looking to do everything. I'm talking like 30-35 hours with each of the levels having optional content and things of that nature. The visuals to the game are just phenomenal. One of the best looking games that you are going to come across, and narratively quite strong. I'm not even an Indiana Jones guy. I don't recall watching the movies. I'm sure I did back in the day, but I have no recollection of them. And I really enjoyed the game. $49, I really like it. And it seems like this kind of, treasure hunting type of story archetype, kind of up my alley. I've come to the realization, dude, I love Uncharted, I love Tomb Raider, Indiana Jones, I end up enjoying that as well. Kind of one of those archetypes that I have come to realize that I quite like. And the base game is $49. The premium edition that does include the Order of the Giants DLC is $59.99. The DLC just came out, so you can check that out as well. That does add a bit of content, so there you go with that. Alright, next up, another super expensive game, Ninja Gaiden 4, 20% off for $55.99. I gushed about this game a little bit recently. This game is just fantastic, and it's legitimately one of my favorite games of the year. I get the criticism towards the game. The main criticism is, oh, the story's not that good. Dude, it's Ninja Gaiden. Like, you're not going into this game for a breathtaking narrative and something that's going to keep you on the edge of your seat from that standpoint. You're getting into this game for the gameplay, and the gameplay is absolutely awesome in Ninja Gaiden 4. From a gameplay standpoint, this is one of the best games of the last several years. It is so good as an action game in terms of being visceral, bloody, and making you feel like a badass man. Ninja Gaiden 4 does exactly that. I liked Yakumo as a character as well. Yakumo gives me the vibe of, if you're like an anime fan, like every angsty anime main character. That's exactly what Yakumo is. Is he a bit of an edgelord? Sure, but like, in the context of Ninja Gaiden, having an edgelord, newer ninja, I think works. I think it totally works for the style of game that it is. $56 for Ninja Gaiden 4. Again, that's super expensive. Most people are not going to pick it up at that price, but add it to the wish list if nothing else. Next up, we got Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, 30% off for $49. Now, truth be told, a lot of our partners, Fanatical, Green Man Gaming, they've all got this game at a Steam code considerably cheaper. It's like $38. So if you do want, go on to one of their websites, buy it over there. You'll save quite a lot, but I know a lot of you guys like to keep it in-house on Steam. Delta Snake Eater is awesome. It's a ground-up remake of one of my favorite games of all time in Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, and the game is great. It stays true to the original while adding some quality of life improvements. The visuals are great. The PC performance could have been a little bit better, but it was honestly not very good from a performance standpoint across the board, so that was a little bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. These things happen in gaming, as you guys know, but MGS3 is phenomenal. $49 is pricey, but still, great game there. Next up, we got Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection, 67% off for $16.49. I've glazed like pretty much every other PlayStation PC release, Spider-Man, Stellar Blade, Ghost of Tsushima, so I thought for this video, let me give more of a shine to Uncharted, because whenever I talk about the Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection, I have a meltdown about Uncharted Nathan Drake Collection not being on PC, and yes, it's outrageous, but Uncharted 4 is an awesome game. I put it on the level of Uncharted 2, and I often glaze Uncharted 2 so much that Uncharted 4 kind of gets the short end of the stick, but I loved Uncharted 4. Narratively, is it a little bit crazy? Is it a little bit kind of nonsensical with, like, you know, Sam coming into the picture and whatnot for those of you that have played it? Yeah, okay, yeah, I can totally understand, but overall, it's still a great game, and I had a great time. Some of the set pieces are phenomenal in this game. It's a tremendous game, and Lost Legacy is really good as well. Shorter standalone game, but still very good, but Uncharted 4 is outstanding. Definitely recommend this for $16.49, great price on that. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Nathan Drake Collection sometime this millennia. Next up, we got Red Dead Redemption 150% off for $24.99. Look, you can still look at this as a hefty price point, given that Red Dead 2 often goes on sale for like $15. Why is Red Dead 1 down to just $24.99 still? But Red Dead 1 is a great game. I think it's a really solid game, and relative to when Red Dead 1 came out, man, it was such a blow-away title back in 2010. Obviously, it doesn't have the technical prowess of Red Dead 2, but it's still a great game from a narrative standpoint. The soundtrack is great, the ambiance is great, and you know, I'm totally down with some smaller scale open world games, given that so many of the open world games these days are 80 to 100 hours long, and Red Dead 2 does an 80 to 100 hour open world very well, but, you know, not everybody's got the time all the time to invest that many hours, but Red Dead 1 is great. You get Undead Nightmare here as well. $24.99 on that. Great pickup there. Doom the Dark Ages is 50% off for $34.99. This recently dropped its update 3. I really like Doom the Dark Ages. I totally get why some people were not as high on it as Doom 2016 and Doom the Dark Ages. It does have a, Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. It does have a little bit of a slower paced approach relative to those two games, but I thought it worked really well. Love the setting of the game. I think the setting is fantastic. I think the gameplay is great. Over-the-top action is still there, but again, a little bit... I don't want to say scaled back, because some of the scale of this game is awesome with the mech and the dragon and everything like that. The game is a lot of fun. $35 is pricey for a game that's not the lengthiest thing in the world, but I would say this is well worth it. Doom the Dark Ages is great. Oblivion Remastered is 33% off for $33.49. Certainly, this had its issues on PC, and the performance and the optimization. Oblivion is one of the most iconic games of all time, and having it rebuilt, you know, for modern players, that is great, but I just wish it would have performed a little bit better, but it is what it is. $33.49 on that. Blueprint, 34% off for $19.79. Really not my cup of tea. Puzzle games are not where I gravitate to. I definitely want to give this game a shot at some point, just because I've heard so many good things about it, and for some people, it's a contender for Game of the Year. Like, they think that highly about it, and 92 on Metacritic as well, and, yeah, it seems to be a really well-designed puzzle title, but 34% off for $19.79. Silent Hill 2, the remake, 50% off for $34.99. Silent Hill F is on sale as well. It's $56, but I would give a shout to the remake of Silent Hill 2. I thought this was really, really well done. Visuals are great. Bloober Team has been one of the standout studios in recent gaming history, and they're building a really good repertoire of games for themselves. Chronos the New Dawn just recently came out. That was great. And Silent Hill 2 is a really solid remake as well. Definitely leans more so on the atmosphere, but that's great. It does have some action-oriented gameplay. The puzzles are the puzzles. I'm always down on puzzles in a horror game. Like, that's probably, like, I love horror games from an ambiance and a vibe standpoint, but, dude, when they go a little bit crazy, and this is, like, pretty much every major horror game, it's a little bit too much on the puzzles, and maybe that's just me being dumb and not being able to figure out puzzles, but it is what it is. $34.99 on that. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, 60% off for $11.99. Look, this game had the worst debut trailer of all time. Ubisoft is so cooked and so out of touch with what their, who their audience is, but the developers of Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown did a great job in creating a Metroidvania game, a great action Metroidvania with some cool platforming. The puzzles, I thought the puzzles in this game were pretty well done. How they were designed and the nuance behind them, I thought it was pretty good, and guess what? I was able to figure them all out, so obviously, pat on the back for your boy. But yeah, great art style, great gameplay. At this price point, I think it's great, so I would definitely recommend that if you're into Metroidvanias. Pacific Drive is 60% off for $11.99. I totally get why people like this game, and there's a lot of things I really like about this game. Atmosphere, vibes, narrative, I think that's really strong. Once you get to the survival and crafting aspects of this game, you know, you kind of lose me. That's just not my cup of tea as far as that's concerned. But a lot of people are going to be super into the game, and for $11.99, I do think it's a pretty good pickup. There is also a DLC that recently came out, Whispers in the Woods, and that's $11.99 as well. They have a Whispers edition, but that's not on sale. It's $45 normally, so a little bit hefty there. But nonetheless, $11.99 on that. Next up, we have Soul Hackers 2, 80% off for $11.99 on this. I really enjoyed Soul Hackers 2, probably more so than a lot of other people, since a lot of people thought of Soul Hackers 2 to be fairly mediocre. I loved Ringo as a main character. I thought she was just a super likable character with a lot of charm. The rest of the cast was solid. Soundtrack is awesome. Go listen to the boss battle theme in Soul Hackers 2 and tell me that you're not vibing with that, because I thought that was great. $11.99 for Soul Hackers 2. If you're into JRPGs, great pickup there. Or good pickup. Great is probably a stretch, but what is a great pickup for JRPG fans or any RPG fans in general? Metaphor ReFantazio, 50% off for $34.99. This, in my opinion, was the game of the year of 2024. I thought this game was incredible. Soundtrack was awesome. Characters were awesome. Story was remarkable. As far as turn-based combat goes, dude, everybody wants to give attention to Expedition 33 of, oh my god, the game revolutionized the turn-based system, turn-based games are so back. Bro, Metaphor, from a gameplay standpoint, is so good as a turn-based game. The depth with all of the archetypes and classes, it's so well done, and I love Expedition 33. It's my game of the year for 2025, but some of the, takes about that game and its combat are brain dead. Like, let's just be honest there. Metaphor, and it's not just Metaphor, there have been a lot of great turn-based games, but I think Metaphor, from a turn-based gameplay standpoint, is fantastic. The soundtrack, like I said, is great. The characters are super likable, and I've said it before, I prefer Metaphor over the Persona games. Take me to the gallows for that one, but $34.99 on that. Very much worth it, given you're getting 80 or so hours of content. Lastly, we have Ghostrunner 2, the lone game that's under $10 on this list, 80% off for $7.99. Ghostrunner kind of infuriates me in the sense of I'm not very good and I keep getting cooked, but I thought Ghostrunner 2 was a solid game. I would recommend you to play Ghostrunner 1, but if you're into that platforming aspect of it and being fast-paced, if you dig that cyberpunk setting, you're going to be into the game quite a lot. I love the setting of the game. I think it's great, and Ghostrunner 2 was pretty well done. So $7.99 on that. Check that out. That'll do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals available right now over on Steam. Links to all of these in the description box below. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate it if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.